Hey, welcome back to A&A. Glad you could join us today. Today what we're going to do is replace a clock spring. Now, it doesn't have anything to do with the clock, and well, actually it's not even a spring. But the reason they call it a clock spring is because clock spring. Step one of this project is disconnect both of the negative battery posts, negative battery cables, not the posts, the cables, and let it sit for 20-30 minutes. The modules that power the airbags, when they go off, they retain a charge, and it takes a few minutes for them to power down. So just be on the safe side, give yourself about 30 minutes. Next step is going to be getting the airbag off. To do that, we got to take this plastic two-piece shroud, got a top half and a bottom half, and there's screws underneath the bottom that hold the two pieces together. However, your tilt lever for your steering wheel, this little rubber grommet here around the opening, go ahead and peel that off, pop that off. So the little torque screw right there, that'll need to come out. You'll need to remove this lever. And then we can take the screws out from the bottom to get this two-piece plastic off. Okay, we got our tilt lever off. The next step is there's 1, 2, 3. It's kind of dark to see, but there's 3 little 5.5 millimeter screws you need to get out. So we'll do that next, and then remove the two-piece plastic. Okay, once you get the plastic shroud off the back, and it's not the easiest thing in the world, but you're not gonna, you're not gonna permanently damage it. It's pretty tough. You're gonna have to pull and yank it out. But anyway, you'll get it out. I had to put the tilt lever back on because it was giving me a little trouble. I needed to tilt the wheel down to get the rest of it out. So that's why that's back on there. Then you have 3 slots on the back of the steering wheel that you can get a flat blade screwdriver in. You're going to put the flat blade screwdriver in and pry towards the center of the wheel, because what's hanging on back there is this little tab, and it's spring loaded. So when you push this airbag back on, it slides along this little sloped tab in the steering wheel. When you push your airbag on, it slides, and then it clips onto the back of this. So what you're wanting to do is, when you put your screwdriver into the slot on the back of the steering wheel, you're wanting to hook the edge of this and pry it off of that tab right there. So what you do, you can't see back there. There's a slot on the top. I'm sorry, Well, if the steering wheel was straight, it's one on the left, one on the right, and one on the bottom. And you can see the little tabs in there on the steering wheel. There's 3 of them. So when you slide your screwdriver into one of the slots on the back, feel with the tip of your screwdriver for the edge of this clip. Wedge it in there and then twist the screwdriver this way, and using that twisting motion you should pry it off that tab. So put a little force inward, put a little force this way, and twist, and you'll pop those tabs off. You'll get the hang of it after you've done 1 or 2. Then there's 2 connectors to disconnect. This is your airbag connector. You pinch the sides together and it'll slide out. This is the other connector for the rest of the electronics on your steering wheel. You know, cruise control, or you know, if you have a radio control on there or what have you, that's what that's for. So we're going to disconnect those 2. I'm going to lay the airbag in a safe area there, and then we'll come back. Okay, we've got the airbag off. We have one more connector that is connected the steering wheel to your clock spring, and that's this black connector right here. And it's just a regular, you know, you just pinch the little connector there and it should pull out. And then all we have to do is actually take the steering wheel off. Torx bolt is the only thing holding the steering wheel on at this point. So we're gonna go ahead and get a Torx bit and get that out. I'll let you know what size it is. I don't remember right offhand, but let me get that and we'll be back. All right, that Torx size is a 50. It's a T50. And it's kind of hard to get the ratchet and extension and, you know, get good leverage on it while you try to hold the steering wheel. So I put it on my impact wrench, of course not to tighten, just to loosen, and just bump it a few times, and you know, it'll come on off there, no problem. So now this is the clock spring right here. If you will remember from the last video, we replaced the steering gearbox, and the steering gearbox is in the forward position. It's my steering wheel that's off, and so you know, my steering wheel is sitting in here like this with cruise controls basically on the bottom. Knowing my steering gear is in the center and I've just got a steering wheel, you know, alignment issue, I'm going to take care of that here now that we're replacing the clock spring. This is a clock spring. It's held on by a Torx screw there, Torx screw up there. The purpose of the clock spring is mainly for your airbag. Your airbag and all of your controls on the steering wheel, the horn, the cruise control, if you have volume controls on the steering wheel, all of it maintains a constant contact between the steering wheel, which, you know, you can turn back and forth, and the vehicle. Inside this round casing is a ribbon cable is wrapped around inside that casing there, and there's enough length in there so that you can turn it all the way to the right, turn it all the way to the left, and it still maintains a constant contact. Okay, I wanted to show you guys what's inside one of these clock springs. There was another connector down here. I didn't show you me disconnecting it, but there's just another connector here, and you just pinch the tab, it pulls out. Inside this thing, it's a ribbon cable that's wound round and round enough so that there's enough enough length of that cable in there that you can go all the way to the right, you can go all the way to the left, no problem. Problem comes is, you know, in my case, we lost the bolt in the middle of the steering shaft and we went too far one way. And although this one isn't broke, I don't see that it's broken. It's a little grease, that's no problem. Although I don't see it broken, the problem we're having is our cruise control won't work. And that could be one other thing, and that is there's a sensor. Probably see it. I don't know if you can see that. There is a sensor. Get my, well, I can't really get you any closer, but there's a sensor on the bottom of our master cylinder that when you tap the brake, it deactivates the cruise control. It could be that. Our problem is we can't even get the cruise control to come on or to set. So that's what leads me to think that it's the clock spring, because this is the connection from the steering wheel to the components. And since we can't get the cruise control to come on or to set, I'm betting my money that it's this. So let's get the new one. Let's install that, try to recenter our steering wheel, maybe take this thing for a test drive and see how it goes. All right, our new parts came in. We got our new clock spring. And if you remember, it has to go in this way because the base of it has a little Torx screw that goes in there. You see one in the bottom there. And so we're just gonna slide this right back on, just like we had slid the old one off. All right, there we go. Kind of wiggle it, it'll seat itself. All right, got my 2 screws in, pull the tab. So now this thing can turn, so you have to be careful. Now I'm gonna put my steering wheel on, just like that. Steering wheel will be centered. Get you back. Okay, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. We'll see how that goes. So put my 2 screws in the clock spring. All right, we got this pigtail here. That's a fixed connection there. It doesn't turn with the steering wheel. That comes from the truck. It's supposed to snap. There we go, snapped. This is your airbag connector. This is gonna go through the steering wheel, connect to the back of the airbag, which, you know, we've taken that off. It's laying over here on the seat. And then there's a connector from the steering wheel that plugs in here. Okay, so steering wheel is slid on there. Nothing's bolted down yet. We've got got that nice Torx bolt we're gonna have to put in here, right there. This will plug right into there. Okay, got the steering wheel bolted back on. So you got 2 more connections left. You got this one, you got this one. On the back of your airbag, you've got this one, which I believe is your horn. I think this is just the horn, because one is grounded, one's hot. I think that's just your horn switch working when you push on the airbag to blow the horn. Of course, that's your airbag connection. So we're gonna pop those in. We're gonna plug them connections in, and then if you remember, this 1, 2, 3 tabs are going to slide onto 1, 2, 3 little places where that tab is going to kind of ride this down and then pop over that. So let me do that. All right, we got everything connected, bolted back up. Now the fun part is is getting that 2-piece plastic shroud back on there. And you know, it's you just have to wrestle it on the top piece, the bottom piece. Bottom piece has got to kind of slide in here. Top piece has got to kind of slide under there. Okay, we got 2-piece plastic back on. It's really not that hard. Work the bottom one in first. It's really easy. The top one would be easy, but that gear shift over there is like really close right here. So a piece of this top, if you just kind of turn it sideways and slide it under there, and then you can straighten it out. You know, it's amazing. It all kind of works. So, all right. So now we got to put our tilt lever in. This is the easy part. So you know you're like home free now. Get your Torx, bolt that in. Get your little rubber grommet. You know, work it with your fingers. Get it over this, and it'll snap into this hole here. Okay, that's gonna do it for the clock spring replacement. And you know, hope you enjoyed it. Hope you saw something in the video that would help you, a tip, a trick, or something. I'm never have claimed to be any type of expert on anything, but I do enjoy trying to find easier ways of doing stuff. Well, if you found something useful, you know, drop a guy a comment, send me an email. Let me know you enjoyed the video. I enjoy doing these for you guys, and so, you know, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. A thumbs up. If you hit that notification bell, it'll let you know when a new video pops up. And we've got a new one coming up, and it's probably one that's going to spark some interest. And I'll tell you the title right now. The title is Prepare for the End. Is it doomsday survival advice? Is it some religious fanatical information? I don't know. You just have to tune in and find out. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good day. And look, remember, be kind to one another.